Today we're going to do paper chromatography. First, let's see what we need. You'll need a pencil, chromatography paper, a ruler, food dye or ink, a 400 milliliter beaker, a popsicle stick, and a solvent. For this experiment, we'll use acetone, which is non-polar. Hi, I'm Rachel, and I'll be doing the paper chromatography demo with you today. First, let's take our paper chromatography filter paper, our ruler, and our pencil. We'll need to draw a line on the paper chromatography filter paper so that we know where the ink starts. Be sure to use pencil for this step because any other ink that you use will separate during the paper chromatography. Next, we'll need our solvent. For this demo, we'll use a non-polar solvent called acetone. I need 50 milliliters of the solvent, which I'll pour directly into the beaker. Cap the solvent and set it aside. Take your paper chromatography filter paper and the food dye that you'll be using to separate. I'm using a toothpick to place a small dot of ink directly over the pencil line. You don't need too much, but be sure it's enough so that you can see the separation of colors. Finally, let's start our experiment. You'll place the filter paper directly into the acetone, but be sure that the acetone doesn't cover the ink dot. Use your toothpick or your popsicle stick to hold the chromatography paper up. Once the paper is in the acetone or any other solvent that you're using, just step back, wait, and let the experiment run. Let's take a look at the paper chromatograph to see what happened. Remember that like dissolves like. So our non-polar color pigments will be dissolved in our non-polar solvent the longest. We can see here that some color pigments are more non-polar and some color pigments are more polar. As you would expect, we see the non-polar color pigments at the top of the chromatograph where they stayed in solution the longest, and the polar color pigments at the bottom where they fell out of solution quickly. This is the end of the video demo. Everyone should now be in their groups and can come to the front of the room to grab materials to try paper chromatography for yourselves.